Hi, good afternoon, Steve. Well, that marijuana farm was initially spotted by a search and rescue team back in July, and agents with the Forest Service have been keeping a close eye on it ever since. People were really hoping that the NTA would be throwing the book at this company for illegally impounding their cars and violating a number of regulations, but that wasn't the case at all. As a matter of fact, it turns out that the $305 that tow guys agreed to pay to each person for improperly towing their cars is about the only punishment that they'll be getting, at least for now, for breaking the law. Police investigators still trying to determine just how this little girl died. And we spoke with her grandmother just a few minutes ago, who also lives in this very same apartment complex. She tells us that her granddaughter was being watched over by her godmother. Her godmother lived in this apartment unit right behind us, which has been completely taped off by police as they continue their investigation. Steve, I can tell you that there wasn't a dry eye in that courtroom today when James Arnold took the stand. He is battling cancer, and he told the jury just how his marriage with Ann Arnold has been for the past 20 years, a very active lifestyle, and how their lives were just completely flipped over once she was diagnosed with hepatitis C. So today we have the chance to actually tag along with some health officials, and we saw firsthand just how those insects are caught and tested for the virus. Frightlines will also be donating the remainder of today's proceeds to the Rape Crisis Center. They sure hope lots of people can make it out here. And folks, this is for a great cause. If you have some time, get on that zip liner. Tickets are only $20 till midnight. Hidden deep in the canyons of the Spring Mountains recreational area, a marijuana farm with over 1,000 plants. Agents from the Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and DEA made their way through the steep terrain, carrying bundles on their backs. A grow operation officials describe as one of the most sophisticated they've seen in recent times.
Elaborate water piping, tons of environmental damage, pesticides, fertilizers all over the place.
The plants, with a street value of over $5 million, were initially discovered by a search and rescue team back in July, with forest agents monitoring the area ever since. Most marijuana farms are usually spotted from a bird's eye view, and what gives them away is their color, bright green plants that pop out compared to the rest of the vegetation. During the bust, authorities spotted two men in camouflage running away, but were unable to track them down. Officials believe the men had been in charge of the farm for months now, but given the size of the grow, they have a hunch the suspects might have ties to a larger drug ring.
That's the million-dollar question. Do we think they had other help? Absolutely. Two people just can't run it on their own. I mean, they've got to be getting supported by someone. The Forest Service says that rather than incinerating the marijuana, they plan on burying it in a huge pit next to a local landfill. Reporting from Nye County, Annette Arriola, Channel 13 Action News. A moment of silence in memory of 15-year-old Alyssa Otrumba. The Arborview High School student was raped and stabbed to death while walking home last Friday.
It's hard to believe there's people out there that would do something like that.
The football stadium packed with students and parents, all wearing neon shirts shining bright for Alyssa tonight. The ribbons and the stickers of her initials on the players' helmets, simple gestures that show just how deeply everyone has been rocked by this tragedy. Alyssa was a member of Arborview's marching band, and tonight's halftime show is being dedicated to her and her entire family. But the healing process far from over. While 19-year-old Javier Righetti confessed to committing the crime, Action News has learned that Alyssa wasn't the first girl he'd attacked. Back in 2009, Righetti, a student at Centennial High, attempted to assault a girl inside a bathroom. As a minor, he was ordered by the Department of Child and Family Services to boot camp on a second-degree felony kidnapping charge.
Should have been locked up. For a kidnapping charge, they put you away for a long time.
But he wasn't. And Righetti even told police that he'd raped another person prior to murdering Alyssa and burning her body. Sickening news for an entire community who feel let down by the system.
If they knew he was like this and they knew that he was forceful on girls, then they should have watched him way more closely than they did. And because of the reason that they didn't, now she's not with us.
And by the way, Alyssa's family was out here tonight in the stands. I had a chance to speak with her mother. She tells me that she has just been overwhelmed by the outpouring of support that she has received from the entire community, and she thanks everybody for that. Now, she did tell me that she feels that her daughter's death did have a purpose in taking this man away from the streets and keeping him from hurting anybody else. Reporting live, Annette Arriola, Channel 13 Action News.